Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing a community reaction video. And I do like doing these. I really do think they're fun to get your guys' opinions on things and talk about them in videos in length. Because I do think it is fun and not only inclusive, but also gives a lot of different opinions. Because not everyone is going to have the same opinions on the game. And I never want to have like you guys only be fed my opinions, you know what I mean? Like, I think it is good to acknowledge other people's thoughts, and so I do really like doing these community reaction videos. Today we have one where I said, what was your favorite part of the trailer? What are you most excited for now? And I said I'd use these comments for a community reaction, so all of you that commented, you are now going to be featured in this video. A few things though, we do have way more gameplay now than we did when I made this post, which was only a day ago. It's crazy how much gameplay we've been getting, but do keep in mind that some of these comments do not have that gameplay in mind. So with that said, let's go ahead and begin. Okay, so I'm going to separate everything by newest because some comments won't show up when you do it by top comments, and I want to make sure I get everybody in this video. So let's go ahead and start. So Omnimon says, Reptile if he's back. He better with all of us Reptile fans uprising. Yeah, I do think Reptile will be in this game, cameo or not. I do think he's going to be in this game, and even if he's not, I'm sure he'll be a NPC in the story, but he wasn't in this trailer, but I think that you're just like manifesting it, which I do respect it. Okay, and is it Jose Sanchez says, favorite part was the ending pre-order. Let me know it's going to be another greedy circus similar to MK11. Yeah, I don't think that pre-orders and like DLC is inherently like a greedy circus practice, because I think every game does that nowadays. The thing you can get mad at, and rightfully so in every aspect, is like the paid cosmetics, especially since we know that the crypt is not returning in this game, which I might do a video on separately. I wonder how cosmetics are going to be in this game and how unlockables are going to be in this game. So if they have like battle passes in this game, I'm not going to let them live that down, and I'm going to boycott it. Like, I'm not going to buy that shit. So if that's what you're getting at and you're not specifically talking about just the pre-order being scummy and you're just talking about like the other practices through WB like the cosmetics, then I would have to agree with you. But if you're just referring to like, oh, Shang Tsung's DLC, I don't really want to like shit on them for that. Every game has DLC nowadays. It's not that big of a deal to me personally, but I do get your point. Okay, Savage Slayer King says, I get mad if they don't bring 3D era characters back. Yeah, I would agree. I do think that there are going to be plenty back, if not in playable characters, like they're going to be in cameo characters. And Ed Boon has already teased that some of them will be returning. How many, we don't know. But I do think us 3D era fans will be getting at least something, right? We're not going to get a plate full of nothing. We might have some crumbs on there. So I am excited for that. So yeah, shout out to you. Good take. I do agree. We do need more 3D era characters. Okay, Desunra is back and they say, too soon to say, but double fatals are a thing I'll definitely have to get used to. Yeah, I do think it's going to be interesting, but I don't really think it changes the gameplay all that much, because in the grand scheme of things, it's just an animation. Like, having the cameo character there in the fatal blow doesn't actually change the way you execute it, doesn't actually change the damage it does. I think it's all going to be just in the animations. It might be a little jarring when like you're playing as Kenshi and you want to see a Kenshi fatal, but then Kano's there with you. Like, I can definitely see that, having to get used to that though. I think it is interesting, to say the least, that they're doing that, and I wasn't expecting it like at all. I thought that cameo fighters we're gonna just be like the bare bones assist characters. So the fact that you can use them in fatals and then also use their fatalities is very interesting. Okay, so Deadman says, I just can't believe how colorful and detailed the game looks. It's gorgeous. Yeah, I didn't really understand the takes about how it looked like bad. Like, I understand that NRS did actually show some like unfinished stuff in that initial trailer at Summer Games Fest. And unless you were watching it in 4K, it really didn't do it justice. Once you watch the trailer on the Mortal Kombat YouTube channel, it looks 10 times better than it actually did during the Summer Games Fest. So the people saying that it looked like horrible and stuff like that, it's like, did we watch the same thing? It didn't really make sense. But I do understand that people don't like the stylized graphics this time around, because it isn't like one-to-one with Mortal Kombat 11, for example. Like, it does have its own style to it. But I do agree, it's extremely colorful, and the details in everything, like the arenas, the characters, the outfits, even the moves, like the actual attacks, have a lot more like flair to them. So yeah, this game just looks outstanding, I would agree. Okay, so I'm guessing it's Aniha, but they say the new designs of the characters and how the gameplay works. Yeah, I do think that these are both amazing things. The gameplay being like the aerial combat, how fast it seems, all of that is such a like breath of fresh air, and I really think that is what we need after Mortal Kombat 11. And the designs of the characters, I agree. Like Liu Kang especially, like the more I see him, the more I fall in love with that outfit. Kitana looks amazing, Melina looks great, Sub-Zero and Scorpion look like the best they've ever looked. They're not over-designed, they're not under-designed, they're perfect. Oh, Kenshi as well. Kenshi looks so good, and even Johnny, who isn't like over-designed or doesn't have anything super special about him, he looks really good in this game as well. I just think that they kind of knocked it out of the park with it. Steel Blake says air combat 100%. It looks so good, and I can't believe that we actually have this much combo potential now in Mortal Kombat 1. BK the Death Beats says simple. Fire God Lord Liu Kang. That's kind of cool. Lord Liu Kang, I really do like that. It does have a ring to it. The coolest character of all time in fiction that has ever been conceived. He is so cool. I think that they've outdone themselves with presenting Liu Kang as like this new pinnacle of power and also like this pure god. I really hope, like we've talked about before, that he's not evil or something, because I think it would just ruin what they've done with him, because even with the little amount of stuff we've seen, he looks so cool. He is like near perfect, if not perfect, in my eyes, and I think for many other people, they think that this is the best he's ever been. So this is a good enough reason to love what Mortal Kombat 1 has going on. They look alike though. I think you're talking about Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and they do look alike, but I think that they are, not that I think actually, I know that they are brothers, at least Ed Boon has said that. I guess we don't know if they're blood brothers, but I would think that they are. So it does make sense that they do look like each other for sure. The fact that they remove variations completely is a godsend. I would agree. It finally feels like MK9 again, a proper fighting game. I want to know how the Conquest mode in Arcade Tower could be. Yeah, I still have my fingers crossed for a Conquest mode, although what they showed off in the trailer does look like a chapter system for the story mode. And then the towers, which we did see a little bit of in the new gameplay, even those look like MK9-esque, so that is a good thing. I think MK9, using that as like a basis and making a true sequel to that game is a huge deal. Mortal Kombat 9 was like kind of revolutionary. Like it was a huge fighting game, not only for its time, but even now, looking back at it as a renewal of Mortal Kombat, as a reboot of the series at the time. And it got so many new fans in the Mortal Kombat, like not only the gameplay, but just the concept of Mortal Kombat 9 is so big. And I do think that they are kind of treating this as like a true sequel to Mortal Kombat 9. And that is a really good thing. That is a great thing. As for variations, I did like variations in Mortal Kombat X, but I do think that they were kind of like, they pushed me away kind of, because it's like, damn, I don't get to play with the character in their full capacity because I have to choose a certain variation. So I do like the fact that there was different playstyles for each character in Mortal Kombat X, for example, but I do think it is better to have one character and play them to their fullest extent just by pressing one version of the character. I do not really like the theory of having different versions of the character and you have to learn them entirely separate from each other. I didn't really like that aspect, but in its entirety, I did think that variations were a cool idea, but it ultimately took away from the enjoyment of like maining one character, you know what I mean? Okay, so the replies are talking about variations as well. When did they reveal there weren't any variations? It's in the demo. Yeah, there aren't variation options. It's just characters and cameos. Okay. After MK11, variations feel unnecessary. It's like limiting or restricting certain character capability from its full potential. Yeah, exactly kind of my take on it. Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, 100%. I do agree with these. Shout out to you. That is a long name, but shout out to you, and shout out to you, Hyperboy. That one guy says that Sub-Zero is just dope. I have to agree, he is so cool. And the story stuff with him does seem interesting. I'll probably do a video on it, because just off of the character interactions that we have so far, the story with him is very interesting, and it does seem that he is Bihan, so I wonder what they're going to do with that, but we will see. Wave Infinite says, there was no run button. Wow, how can the fight, the game will be too slow? I think the game actually looked kind of fast. And yeah, the dashing was like kind of slow, but there are other means of movement in the game that seem to make up for the fact that the dash button isn't there, or isn't that prevalent, and then also no run button. If you look at what some players have said, like Super or Sonic Fox, or these players that are very versed in fighting games, they have kind of reassured me and many others about the movement in the game. I won't know until I get my hands on the game, but based off of what others have told me, I'm not really worried about the movement. especially when you compare it to Mortal Kombat 11. I think if it's any faster than Mortal Kombat 11, we're in good hands, you know what I mean? So I'm not too worried about it, but I do understand being skeptical about it for sure. Okay, so Titan FX says, there is no Devora in the trailer. BK the Deaf Beat says, I'm sorry bro, but Devora had to get squashed like a bug. F Devora. I agree that Devora should probably sit out this one. But even if Devora does come later as DLC or something, it's not going to be like the end of the world, I think. Especially since they can change her character and actually make her a good character this time around. But I think so many people wouldn't enjoy her just because of the PTSD from Mortal Kombat X and 11. So I agree that Devora sitting out for now is probably a good thing, but I can't lie and say that I don't think Devora is like a good villain or not, because I do think Devora is a good villain because like I hate her. And so if I hate them because of their actions, then they're doing their job as a villain, you know what I mean? But with that said, I do see that there are a lot of people that are glad that Devora is not in this game, so yeah, it's understandable. Rengoku says, air combos, yes. Wait, did I already get this comment before? Didn't we already see this, or was it somebody else? Oh, air combats. Oh, no, it's two different people. Okay, cool. Yeah, air combos are so cool. I'm really happy to see that this game has so many variations when it comes to combos, because the combo potential in Mortal Kombat 11 compared to what we've seen so far, and even though it's so little, it seems that there's so much more to be explored within Mortal Kombat 1, so I just can't wait to see what other potential there is. And then also just the juggling, the projectiles in the air, mixing the two, like, it's so cool. I really think that this combat system is everything I wanted and probably more, but I'll have to see. Okay, so Ryan Musgrove says, my favorite part is Liu Kang fighting Shang Tsung. I think you're talking about the reveal trailer, but still, that was awesome. I was hoping we were going to see Shang Tsung gameplay in the gameplay trailer, which we didn't, so curious to see how he plays once we do see his gameplay. So I do think we'll get like a Shang Tsung gameplay trailer eventually. DJ Kennedy says, game looks fun, but I am a little worried about the cameos. Hopefully it will still be traditional 1v1 fighter with the cameos as an option, and or a different type of tagish mode. As for a tag mode, I don't think that's happening, but it would be fun to see it happen because I did enjoy it in Mortal Kombat 9. I believe an NRS dev did say that 1v1 mode will not be a thing, so everything is going to have cameo fighters. I know that's a letdown to a lot of players. For me, I think it's okay. I respect the vision, and I do want to see what they've realized with cameo fighters because I do have faith in this idea and I think it's going to be a good one, but I do have to play it myself. I don't know if I'm going to miss the 1v1 too much and then not enjoy cameos. But as of right now, I think that I respect the vision, and I do want to see where they take it. So I know a lot of players are going to be unhappy with no 1v1, but maybe they can add it in the future, but we will see. Okay, so Frake says Kenshi appearance, yeah, I respect that. Kenshi was such a cool appearance. I can't even lie, I did think it was Cole Young at first, and I was like shocked, but the fact that it's Kenshi made it so much cooler because there's so much they can do with this character, and the fact that it's like a new version of him was so cool to see. And then also his gameplay with the Ronin, like, it's so unique, and it seems that there's going to be a really high skill ceiling for that character. So players that really want to get like down and dirty with these combos and really want to take the time to learn a character like Kenshi are going to see some crazy rewards for doing so, and I think that's a really good way to reward players. Not every character has to have like a super high skill ceiling or like a very heavy barrier of entry, but a character like Kenshi where you can take the time to learn them and you'll only get better by doing so, because they're so complicated, is something I think is a very good call. And I think it's really cool to do it for a character like Kenshi, who is already so cool. They really did my boy justice, I really do like that. Okay, so Mike Russian says, I really hope Goro will be on the main roster as well as the cameo roster. Yeah, we do know he's a cameo. If I had to say, I think he's not going to be a main roster character, but we will see. He's already a cameo character, yeah. Yeah, he looked pretty lame design-wise in the trailer. I liked it, like I thought it was fine. I didn't really think it was offensive or anything. I would agree that maybe it was a little bland and they could have done more with him, especially since the cameo fighters did have their classic looks. It would have made sense to have like a classic Goro, but that wasn't what we got. Cameo fighters are going to have different skins, so I do think we'll get a classic Goro along with other costumes for him, so I wouldn't be too upset with what he looked like in the trailer. Kentaro would be cool even as a cameo character, even if he's not main roster. Same thing with Goro. Again, I don't think that they need to be main roster for me to enjoy them, but I do know a lot of people would want to see them in the main roster. Kentaro with Goro cameo sounds sick. I'd be happy with either one. That would be such a cool combination. The potential of cameo fighters is like so cool, and I think that the cameo fighters are a good call because of stuff like this. No variations, thank the Elder Gods. Yeah, a lot of people are excited that there's no variations, and rightfully so, rightfully so. So that's good. Glad to see a lot of people are happy with that decision. Liu Kang had short funny dialogue in the trailer. Yeah, his whole personality, everything about him seems so good in this game and in the trailer for sure. Renee Valdez, this shit made me come, I fear. Oh my god. No, I would agree 100%. I mean, this is a valid take. This is 100% valid. I did feel the same way. I love the classic style on Sonya, Jax, and Kano. Me too. I do think it's a cool idea. I do think also though, which I don't think many people are talking about, which is completely okay, but part of me does believe that NRS kind of has to let go of those classic 3 games because like it leaves the 3D era, even Mortal Kombat 4, like just in the dust, and they always say that they want to bring back the classics, which of course I understand, but they only really talk about Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. They're not really talking about the other games, which does make sense, but they also tie the main plot of the story to that first tournament every time, and it's like there's so many more story beats that can be explored, especially through the other games that aren't Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. But unrelated to this point, you know what I mean, that's just something I wanted to point out. The classic styles on them is super cool. Striker also had his classic style. You know, I don't really care about Striker, but I do think it is cool that they're bringing those back. Right now I just want to understand who the characters are this time. It doesn't seem to be a sequel to 11, yeah it's not, except for the appearance of Fire God Liu Kang. It is a timeline reboot, and finally, unlike other games, we don't know what's to come. Yeah, I saw the ending, but I guess it's been a while. I don't remember the reboot. Maybe we should play the story mode again? Yeah, I do recommend everybody plays like Mortal Kombat 9, X, and 11 again, just so we can get a refresher of the last timeline. But even play like the old games again too, or just like watch videos on them just to get like refreshed on what could happen in this new timeline. Because the fact that this timeline is completely new, they can take from any of the older games. And I'm really happy that it seems that they're not just taking from the first tournament, which thank god, because it seems that they're doing that plot line every fucking game. It's like, why do we keep doing this? Like, we have so many stories to explore, we don't have to keep doing the first tournament. Or you guys know what I mean, not like the first tournament, but the first tournament that we actually see in the games. Okay, so Cage Gamer says, I hope Quan Chi and Johnny Cage return. Well, we do know that Johnny's returning. Quan Chi is most likely to return too. Yeah, I do think that Quan Chi could return and even be a good guy. Ed Boon did say that the villains do not have to be evil. I think it was the interview with GameSpot where he said that the characters, even the villains, can have different origin stories and they do not have to actually be evil, of course. So I think that Quan Chi, like being a good guy in this timeline, would be super cool to see. But it's kind of weird to think about because we do know that Bihan is evil in this timeline, at least it seems so. Again, I might do another video on that, but based off of the character interactions in the gameplay that we've seen, it does seem that Bihan is going to be evil. So I don't know how Quan Chi is going to be involved in this game. He could be part of the Deadly Alliance again, but regardless of how they do it, as long as Quan Chi is not just some type of jobber, then I am very open to see what they do with him in this game, of course. Every comment where they mention a character, everyone wants to bring up leaks. Like, bro, just stop. People want to just shove leaks everywhere and say like, hey, it's confirmed, it's confirmed. Like, bro, it's a leak. Do you not know what the definition of a leak is? Like, it's not been officially announced, so it is not confirmed. I hate to break it to you. Even if the leaks are very credible, most people don't know about it if it isn't officially announced. It's just corny to me when people do that. And this person says there wasn't a bad character shown, and I would have to agree. In my opinion, you're actually right. See, this is what I love, man. I think that this game, it's like an accumulation of everything that we want to see. It's realizing so many characters in such a perfect way, and I really couldn't ask for anything better. I'm so happy that we are where we are with Mortal Kombat right now, and how the characters look, how everything feels, the atmosphere, everything seems so nice and so fresh and perfect to me. This honestly is like the perfect comment to encapsulate how I feel about the game right now, because everything really does seem perfect to me at the moment. Again, there's so much to be shown off still. We haven't even seen like half of the roster, we haven't even seen half the stages, we don't really know that much about the story, so there is a lot to be shown off that can maybe change my opinion, but as of right now, I think that this game seems extremely promising, and I cannot wait for it. That was the community reaction for the Mortal Kombat 1 trailer. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure you guys stay safe, stay hydrated, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.